How's everybody doing? I'm Kyle. Welcome back to more sage advice from me. Today I'd like to take an opportunity. I want to cover what I feel is one of the most basic things, one of the most basic concepts that you can understand to improve your life. Not just in the sense of, oh, I can make more money, but also improve your understanding of the things going on around you, just to make yourself in general happier and more content with the things going on around you. And here's the thing. Unfortunately, this is a topic that I could go on about forever, and has a lot of different facets and aspects to it. But I really want to keep these videos condensed. Under 15 minutes if possible. At the very, very outside, I would say maybe 20 minutes. Because, I don't want, I want these things to stay short, easily digestible. Because I know that if you're in a position where you're looking at your life and you're going, shit, I need to do something to make a change. I need to, make improvements. I need to progress. You probably are already, down. You're already stressed out. You've probably taken a lot of hits to begin with. And I don't want to create something that you have to look at and go, well, you know what? Maybe there's some advice that I could take from this and help myself out, but I really can't, sit and watch that whole long 40-minute, 50-minute video. So with no further discussion of that, just so you understand that I am kind of abridging this, and I might touch back on it in the future in a little bit more. That topic is going to be direction and opportunities. Now, these two words may not seem linked, right off the bat without really thinking about it. But I assure you, you're going to understand in a second why they're two sides of the same coin. Now, first we need to talk about direction, because I think that probably about 50 to 60% of people who are looking to make a positive change in their lives, which that's a necessary first step. If you're not looking for it, it's not going to happen. Don't even worry about it. Don't waste your time. But about 50 to 60% of people who are looking to make that positive change in their lives knows the overall final destination that they want to get to. But what I think is a lot rarer, and I would say maybe 10% of people know, is what is the next step that I need to take to get to that final destination that I'm aiming towards. And that is a very early thing that you need to establish. Now, it's not necessarily the first thing you need to establish, because like I talked about in the first video, there are certain things that you can do to get yourself into the right habits. Clean up your room. Make a to-do list. Start achieving little goals every day that will get you into the right habits to get moving in the right direction. But the very next thing, at least, that you need to do is figure out what are the steps that I need to take that are they're gonna bring me to where I'm going or where I want to go. And this right here is almost 100% of the time where you're gonna separate people who are ready to succeed from people who are not ready to succeed. Because there is no option C. There is no people who are not able to succeed. It's all an issue of whether or not you're ready. And here's how you're gonna know. Let me give two examples of people that I have been very close to, that I've known very closely, and differentiate between the two because they have very similar circumstances in their lives, and one of them was ready to succeed and one of them wasn't. And this is not an insult or a personal jab, because both of these people are people that I care or have cared a lot about. But you can see from their attitudes and the way that they discuss this first step, they discuss this finding their direction, that one of them has, the necessary drive to push themselves forward, and the other one didn't. So the first one, is a girl that I was involved with for a little while. And one of the things that her and I talked about a lot, the key similarity between these two women, understand, is that they both were living in the United States, and both of them had not, they weren't fully above board. In the one girl's case, she had an expired visa. In the second girl's case, she was completely illegal. So the first girl, she would talk to me. She told me, oh, I want to go to school, but, I can't afford it because I can't get, grants and everything costs more because I'm not a resident of the state of Florida, and I can't be a resident because I'm not a U.S. citizen. Well, here's the thing. Later, as I kind of talked to the girl, I realized that was an excuse that she was using, that she was giving herself to explain why she couldn't advance her life, to say, all right, this is why I'm not going anywhere. It's not my fault. It's because of this legality. It's because of the status that I have. So, I had the opportunity, luckily, that I, was able to provide her with an attorney. She said, I don't know if I can pay for it. Hey, look, don't worry about it. Whatever you can't pay for, I'll cover. All right, well, I guess I'll email you my papers. No, I'm not, whatever. And it just became excuse after excuse after excuse. And I remember at one point asking her, like, well, what if you can get citizenship, if you can go to school, what do you want to do? And it was at that point that I realized that, honestly, she didn't have any fucking idea. Because, to her, she saw, okay, this is a roadblock. This is a crutch that I can lean on. Now, to contrast that, I want to talk about and just, point out for a second, my current significant other, same status, actually worse off so, because she has never at any time, as far as I know, as far as we've ever talked about, even had legal status in the United States of America. Nevertheless, she wanted to go to school. So, she went through the process of finding out how it could be done. She contacted the right people, and you know what? She didn't even need my help. I would have given it to her had she asked for it, but she didn't even need it. She went, she found out what she needed to do. She did it without ever changing her status, and she is almost done with her courses, her nursing courses, and that is going to allow her to take the next step, because she saw an obstacle, and instead of saying, okay, that's the end, there's an obstacle in front of me, so I can't do this, she said, here's an obstacle, how can I get around that obstacle? And this is where you get to, I think, the biggest problem with the overall millennial mind state, is that everybody's a victim. And I don't want to really attach this to politics, because it goes to both extremes of politics. It goes to the left, it goes to the right, it goes to the center. The only thing that changes is, a little bit of the adjectives that are used in the process. I can't do this because I'm, black, or because I'm gay, or because I'm trans, or because I'm a woman, or I can't do this because I'm white, and nobody wants to give white people opportunities. Everything's for minorities, or I can't do this because, I'm young, or because my family's poor, or whatever. No, you will find people of every single race, sexuality, gender, of every political affiliation, of every birth station, who have succeeded, including yours. And nothing held them back, because they didn't stop and see an obstacle and go, oh, I can't do this, and it's because the world wants to screw me over because I'm X. They saw an obstacle and said, how can I get around this obstacle? Now, the other side to this, the other side to this excuse mentality, it comes in the form of people comparing their situation to the situation of other people who don't have whatever affliction it is that happens to be holding them back. They look at them and go, oh, look at this person. They have all these opportunities just handed to them that I don't have. And, like I said, that's the other side of the same fallacy. Because regardless of who you are, in life, you're going to have some opportunities that, just do fall into your lap. Completely luck-based. No matter how little you do for yourself, you will have some opportunities. And these can vary from little opportunities to, maybe meeting somebody that you get on really good with and you can have a good friendship with or have a good relationship with. Bigger opportunities like, a decent job that can allow you to make more money than you've been making. Huge opportunities like, getting in at the ground floor of some sort of startup or something that, affords you the opportunity to all of a sudden be making hundreds of thousands of dollars that you weren't making last year. But the problem then is that, usually if you're not looking for these opportunities, if you're not out there actively trying to improve yourself, even if these opportunities do fall on your lap, you're not going to be able to take them. You're not going to be ready to take them. And that is a really key step right there, is being available, being ready when these opportunities do present themselves. Also, another part of that is the fact that you kind of can do things to make these opportunities happen more often. And this is where you'll always hear pretty much anybody who's been successful, especially in like business fields, you'll always hear them talk about networking. And this is where networking comes in. There's a damn good chance that if you just continuously interact with the same people, do the same things all the time, you don't get out, you don't meet new people, you don't do things that are outside your comfort zone, that you probably have exhausted all the opportunities that set of circumstances could possibly afford you. So the thing you need to do is get out and meet people and do things that you're not necessarily comfortable with. Because if you think about it, if you want a great opportunity and you haven't gotten it yet, that doesn't necessarily mean the opportunity doesn't exist. It means it's not where you're looking. You need to look somewhere else. The same can be said for anything in life. If you're looking for a relationship, a husband, a wife, whatever, and you haven't met that person yet, they're probably not just all of a sudden going to show up in the same exact place and with the same exact people that you've always associated with. They're probably somewhere else, and you probably need to step outside your comfort zone a little bit to go look for those opportunities. And this ties in really good to direction, because again, to give you an opportunity or an example from my own life, something that's going on right now, a decision that I made because I know that it's going to take me forward and it's going to eventually put me in a better situation than the one I'm in right now. Because regardless of how good or bad your situation is, you always need to be trying to progress. But I said to myself, hey, I realized that I have to be pretty close to being able to get a degree with the college credits that I have accrued over the years. So I need to go back and finish up those last few credits to get my degree. Well, here's the great thing about that. Aside from the fact that it gives me a piece of paper that I'm going to tell you right now isn't the be all and end all. It's not the most important thing in the world, especially not in 2018. If that's not the direction you want to go in, don't go in that direction. But it is something that some people put value in. And some of those people might be the same people who are going to be in the future, the ones who have the power to provide you with those opportunities. So if you have, this piece of paper, even if it doesn't mean anything to you, it might mean something to somebody else down the road. So it's just opening more doors for you. It certainly can't hurt. Another side to that is that in actually physically going to the school for whatever night classes I take, 1 or 2 or 3 nights a week, whatever, I am guaranteed to meet people who I do not currently know. And again, that's just opening more and more doors. One of those people might be the person, or might introduce me to the person who later on opens up some sort of opportunity that then, as long as I'm ready to take that opportunity, it helps me get somewhere else in life. It helps me move forward. It helps me make, more money. It helps me have things that I don't have now. Fucking like 6 hours ago, I didn't have those shoes. They're pretty fucking expensive. I don't know what the hell's up with shoes these days. Those shoes are $110. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's all about opportunities. And at some point, I had an opportunity that put me in a life situation where I can get these shoes. Next, maybe I'm going to be in a life an opportunity is going to open up itself where I have a new life circumstance where I can afford, a nicer car, where I can afford a bigger house, whatever. And if that's what I want, then I need to be doing whatever I can to help open those doors up, because very, very few of them are going to open themselves up over the course of your lifetime. And like I said, chances are you probably already missed them. If you're 22 and up, you probably already missed those doors, if you haven't taken them already. So it's time that you step out of your comfort zone and, go in that direction. And it ties in, like I said, just to close this off, because I didn't complete this thought earlier, but the thing with the school, it ties into direction too, because I sat back and I realized, okay, I effectively use all of my time right now. All of my time is spent in some way or another making money right now. So the only way that I can increase my income beyond that is to then be able to use that time to make more money per hour, a higher return on each minute of investment. And I think a way that I can open up opportunities like that is to have that piece of paper. So it ties in perfectly with my networking, and I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And as you start to understand these things, as you start to make them part of who you are every single day, as you start to make them part of your decision-making process, more and more things like that will make themselves apparent to you, where you can effectively do 2 things, 3 things, 4 things at the same time with the same action. And therefore you make your economy of effort a lot better. You guys have a great night. I'll see you in the next video, and peace.